Hi, my name is John Walsh, and this is for Module 5, Assignment 10. The first thing I'll be talking about is how gift economies and market economies compare and contrast. So, the first aspect I'll be talking about is the basis of exchange. So, for a gift economy, the basis of exchange is rooted in reciprocity, relationship, and generosity, while the market economy is rooted more in things like transaction, profit, and ownership. Another aspect I'll be comparing and contrasting is the value system. So, in a gift economy, value is based on usefulness, connection, and gratitude, while a market economy is based on scarcity, demand, and pride. Or not pride, price. Sorry about that. The next aspect I'll be talking about is nature of goods. So, in a gift economy, gifts are freely given and meant to be shared, while in a market economy, goods are bought, sold, and owned. One more aspect would be like the human role. So humans are participants in a cycle of giving and receiving. They must give back in gratitude and care. So that's for the gift economy. And for the market economy, humans act as consumers or producers focused on maximizing gain. So that would be comparing and contrasting the two. The next is illustrate how natural systems operate more like gift systems. So one way that the natural systems operate more like gift systems is abundance without expectation. So nature offers resources, food, water, air, not as commodities, but as gifts freely given. For example, wild strawberries grow without cultivation and no price is attached to them. The earth doesn't send a bill for the sunlight, rainfall, or pollination. These gifts are available to all who live in balance with nature. Another way is reciprocity over extraction. So, in a gift economy, receiving a gift implies a responsibility to give something back. The author explains that indigenous traditions teach people to take only what is needed, never more. For instance, maple trees provide sap in the spring, but respectful harvesting ensures the tree is not harmed. This mirrors the gift economy's unwritten rule: take with care, give in return. Another way that natural systems operate more like gift systems is mutual relationship. So gift economies are not one-sided. Nature thrives on interdependence, like how bees pollinate flowers while gathering nectar, or how forests share nutrients through fungal networks. These natural exchanges build resilient communities, not competitive markets. The giver and the receiver both benefit, without profit being the main goal. So the next thing I'll talk about is 3 examples of gift giving in nature that were described by the author. So one example would be wild strawberries. So wild strawberries are one of the central symbols in the chapter. They grow freely in the fields, uncultivated and unclaimed, appearing as gifts from the earth. The author recalls the joy of finding them as a child and how her family never took more than they needed. The strawberry sweetness isn't measured in price, but in experience and the memory they offer. This teaches that the earth gives generously, and the appropriate response is gratitude and restraint, not ownership or profit. Another example would be maple sap. So maple trees give their sap each spring, a source of nourishment and tradition. The author describes the act of tapping a tree as part of a respectful relationship. It's not just about taking, it involves offering something back, such as a gift of tobacco or a word of thanks. The sap is seen not as a product to exploit, but a gift that carries cultural, spiritual, and ecological meaning. So the last example is how plants breathe, basically, like photosynthesis. So though not framed as a dramatic story, the author reminds us that plants give oxygen through photosynthesis. Every breath we take is made possible by their generosity. In return, we exchange carbon dioxide, which plants use to grow. This ongoing exchange between the two is quiet, but is essential, and is a gift that creates a relationship, kind of. It reflects nature's deep reciprocity and balance, not ownership and control. And so the last thing I'll talk about is how humans can participate in gift relationships within the natural world instead of market economy rules. So one way is to practice like mindfulness and like gratitude, I guess you could say. So you have to acknowledge the gifts. Recognize that natural resources, whether it's wild strawberries, clean air, or the or maple sap, that these are gifts and they're not commodities. Another way would be to adopt sustainable harvesting practices. So you want to take only what you need. Embrace the philosophy of leave no trace by only harvesting what you need, just as the indigenous did themselves. Another way in that to adopt sustainable harvesting practices is reciprocity in action. So when you take from nature, consider ways that you can give back, whether by replanting, restoring habitats, or supporting conservation efforts. Another way is to adopt an ethical and ecological worldview. So shift from ownership to connection. Replace the mindset of ownership with one of deep connection and respect for nature. Recognize that Earth's gifts come with an inherent responsibility to nature and to protect them. And the last way is to educate and advocate. So cultural and environmental education. Learn about the traditional ecological knowledge and share this wisdom. Understanding the long history of gift economies in many indigenous cultures can illuminate alternative ways of relating to the natural world. Advocacy for policy change. Engage in or support policy changes that value ecological balance and sustainability over short-term economic gain. Promoting systems that honor the Earth's inherent generosity are key. And that's what I have. Thank you so much.